Alright, hello everyone. Today we're going to be talking about some important things to note for this upcoming Virgo Cup, and we'll talk about the upcoming changes to the tier list as well that I have asked my Canva helpers to go and edit already. Thank you for all of those who have pointed out the small mistakes that were inside the Canva sheet. We could only push this out as fast as possible, so there were definitely a few mistakes, but I think we've corrected a lot of them already. And thanks to the new patch, we are able to do some testing yesterday. I didn't stream at all just to do the full testing here, so that we have a good amount of data at least to kind of showcase our results here. Alright, so first off, take note of several bugs in the game as of now. I do not believe Cygames would have fixed it by the time this video comes out. Rico 5th date and Tazuna 5th date for the R versions currently are just completely 0 turns. They give you nothing at all, it's just white text with no stat. So this is something you must avoid. Alright, the SSR Rico is still okay, no problem. 5th date still okay. Smart Falcon, Ash Occur, and I think King Halo all still don't have their skills added to them. I do not know if they improved the stat output from these cards or something like that instead of adding the skills. So I have to go and research this a bit more, but take note that you cannot use Smart Falcon to get groundwork, which I have been advertising quite recently in my streams. I was disappointed also when I saw it, so I hope that either that was a mistranslation or they just straight up forgot to do it, because maybe the Rico R card not being added properly means that they forgot to do the SSR properly, right? So maybe there's a bit of hope here. Otherwise, I just hope for a big compensation for this one, yeah? Alright, anyway. Other than that, take note of several horses that can soft lock you. Alright, there are several horses that can do a few races and then they just soft lock you. You just get stuck in a returning to title loop. The ones I've confirmed personally is Vodka, as well as who else? I think Taishin. Yes, Taishin and Vodka. They can soft lock you. You will go to one race and then suddenly you're return to title and you're just looping return to title. You cannot actually finish your race anymore. So this is something that is very, very painful for a lot of us if you are trying to make her for this CM. Yeah, I hope Cygames fix this very soon, because we really don't have enough time to really try and re-roll these horses, and we still only have 3 borrows. So I understand the pain for a lot of you guys. Okay. Other than that, okay, let's talk about meta stuff now. All right, the things that have been confirmed for this CM is definitely that Suzuka is a blocker, and that downward descent works, and that head-to-head is added, and that Mayano shapeshifter event is added. Alright, she's able to now get any XL from any position just by doing her special event, and she can do the Mayano's Love Advice to get 600 wit, and then you can get guaranteed fast learner. Some people still don't understand what I'm talking about, so I'm going to show you again in this video. Right, Mayano Top Gun over here. If you scroll down over here, you see Mayano's Love Advice here. If you have 600 wits when this event triggers, you are guaranteed to get this fast learner here. It is guaranteed if you have 600 wits. Right? This one, you can find it in the ref document also. The ref document also mentions this, so you can basically trust this. Okay, the next thing is also the fruits of my labor, which is the new shapeshifter event has been finally implemented. So you can get literally an acceleration for every single position over here. Straight away spurt, everyone remembers this from Enclosers. That's right, you don't need to hunt down Enclosers skill for Mayano Top Gun anymore. She can just get it for free. For Pace Chaser, she gets head to head for free, head on for free. So that means you just need to hunt for straight descent, and you can make a horse very, very strong. Combo with guaranteed fast learner, you can get a very, very high score with her. Really, really very high score with her. And her CM will definitely be above 50% win rate, because that's just how strong Mayano Top Gun is. Alright, just a very, very solid min-maxer horse, and F2Pers will love her because she's very easy to build also. Right, stamina requirements met, then you just try to make your speed and your wits as high as possible. After that, you just run it down, get the XLs from doing her events, and then you try to buy as many other skills as possible, and you have a very, very solid win rate, I can guarantee you, with Mayano Top Gun. Right, a very, very strong F2P horse for sure. Okay, after that, Taiki Shuttle, buff confirmed. This is the greatest horse in the entire game for Mal. Alright, Vodka is also another very great horse for Mal. Ryan, if you hit number 6, he will still win as per usual. Right, but Vodka and Taiki have significantly better skills inside of them. Right, and if they inherit Ryan, then they are very, very good. For Taiki, she doesn't need to inherit. For Taiki, the only one she inherits is really just Brian. It's just Brian, her own unique, and then all of the other speed skills that you can get for her. And also head-to-head, and if you want to gamble a little bit, Nimble Navigator. I'll mention Nimble Navigator and Uma Stand a little bit for those who really want to know. Alright, so don't worry. After that, besides Taiki Shuttle, we also have Suzuka. As of now, out of about 40 games, Suzuka Ace was able to block about 90 or 80% of these lobbies so far. All right, so this is out of quite a lot of games. All right, Suzuka is a very, very strong blocker, very strong, even built as an ace. But now imagine if she was built as a blocker stat line. So as a blocker stat line, she will be more effective at blocking and able to basically control that front for a very, very long period of time. Right? If she fights another runaway Suzuka, she's actually able to win also. We have confirmed results that the Onige Suzuka, this runaway Suzuka, if she fights another one and she's able to survive, she is almost impossible to lose to. Impossible to lose basically for Suzuka. It's very, very strong gap increase thanks to the fighting with the other great front runner. So I asked a Suzuka veteran. She said that the first time Suzuka came out, she was basically a quite worthless ace, and seems like it's not very good as an ace. They have not implemented the modern day Unige mechanics into her yet, so they're not really able to make her win as effectively as she would be in the modern day JP, because on some tracks in JP she's actually considered like an A tier, sometimes S tier horse, because of her ability to actually be very strong on mild CMs in particular. Right, so Suzuka right now not very good yet. Hopefully we see some buffs for her in the future, or maybe at the first anniversary. Alright, so yeah, Suzuka is going to be solid as a blocker, I can guarantee that. For Ace, I cannot guarantee that off of the results that I have so far. Alright, Taishin, unfortunately due to the soft law, is very painful, but she's definitely very, very strong also. Alright, very, very strong. Okay, so this one plus this one. And then now we also talk about Rush Hour. Rush Hour is another one I need to confirm. The heals are implemented. Your straight descent or downward descent, whichever skill you're going to buy, is very, very good. Right, it's about maybe 80% chance to activate at a good timing, and there are times where it can activate badly or miss completely, but it's honestly still a better gamble than any other gambling skill in this game. Right, it's still a pretty decent chance, so I would say that if you want to run Rush Hour in this situation, it's actually not too terrible. But if you fight a lot of Taikis, I will not actually expect this horse to win Taiki too much, but I think that is one of the better times to run Rush Hour for sure, right? Because her golden XL is 0.3 and it could perfectly proc, and that is very, very powerful, but she will need other things to help fight this Taiki shuttle over here, which is going to be a little bit hard. Alright, so yeah, just take note of this for the Taiki shuttle over here. If you want, you can kind of gamble a very Pace Chaser heavy lobby and pray that Rush Hour is behind, so that she only gets to the 4th position by the time the last spurt comes, and then you can inherit Taiki shuttle. There's some very weird stuff that you can do to try to improve her odds a little bit, and I know Rush Hour mains will go and do the research themselves, so do go to the Discord, or if you really need to, you can Ko-fi me and I'll try to min-max it with you. Otherwise, this one is something that I think you might have to research yourself. I cannot compare her to this horse. This horse is just too ridiculously OP for Mal. Alright, so this is definitely the new best horse for Mal. If there's a corner, El Condor Pasa will come back when there is a straight line at a very good time again. Alright, so don't worry about it. Okay, so other than that, front runners in general, I want to rate all of them significantly lower. Right, Seuska is probably the only one, if she's able to get to the front, activate 0.4 XL, is able to win, because these other front runners here, due to the addition of this Suzuka here in your lobbies, this horse appearing one time just almost guarantees you lose if you're a front runner player. So this is the new rock to the scissors of the front runners. Right, back in the day we only had front runner, late surger, but with the buffs coming so early and Suzuka getting run away so early, it's no longer just late surger front runner. It's now Pace Chaser front runner, late surger, and now run away. So the meta has become broader, and so the runners got a little bit screwed. All right, but this horse, not everyone knows how to build her, and not everyone has her. Take note of that, alright? Not anyone has her, and not everyone's going to be building her as a debuffer horse either, right? They will be maybe making her into an ace horse, blah blah blah. Out of the 40 games I think we've seen with some of the stronger players, right, the whales or those with a lot of extra time, they were able to, the front runners were still able to overtake weak, great front runner Suzukas. So I think this is like maybe like 2 out of like 10 games or 20 games, they were still able to overtake, okay? But it's not common to overtake the Suzuka. She's very, very strong as a blocker, and as an ace, she's also very hard to overtake. But yeah, there's several situations where this horse can fall asleep halfway during the race because she ran out of stamina, and then your horses from behind can just kind of overtake her and eat her for free, right? So yeah, that's some situations. Okay, I can't cover them all in this one video, but just know that the A Suzuka is not very good at winning, can only win if she fights another runaway Suzuka, and her existence is a debuff, like what Zero says, right? Existence is a debuff again, right? So welcome back, Suzuka, you're my debuffer goat. Okay, and then this one, okay, last one, Gold City. Gold City, her Keen Eye got buffed also, right? Keen Eye got buffed. So if we go to Gold City over here, Keen Eye also received a buff where it becomes a 0.2 speed debuff now. As of now, Urzi has talked to me about this, and she says that this is probably not significant enough to help you to win on Mal. The thing about Mal is that it is a highly volatile place, and to improve win rates, you probably just want to gamble more, because Mal is the land of gambling, really, right? If long is the stamina check, medium is sometimes a stamina check, then Mal is just full-on gamble because there is no stamina check, right? You just hit number 6 and you run it down. You hit your number 3 and 4 with Taiki Shuttle, you run it down. You hit your first place, activate Angling and Scheming, you run it down. So everything that you should be doing is just improving your odds of hitting this. Double Debuffer is going to be stronger later due to the addition of Swimsuit Ghost Ship. Swimsuit Ghost Ship later on, right, is going to be very good because she has 564, and this on a debuffer allows them to activate a ghost skill at random, ignoring their conditions, meaning you can do weird stuff like run Mystifying Murmur on Mal, and if you get blocked, okay, no, not even get blocked, if you just run normally, you may randomly activate Mystifying Murmur, because that's just what 564 does, right? So Urzi says that basically the Gold City debuffer strategy was pretty good with the swimsuit Ghost Ship, but it is maybe not enough to win on a Mal CM, and I'm inclined to believe that as of now. I would rather just run more aces to improve my odds of winning rather than sacrifice one slot for a debuffer. However, if you want to run a hybrid, due to the increased widths, it's not too terrible of an option to do that. Okay, the increased widths does help a lot, but remember you are sacrificing some SP to buy the Keen Eye skill also. Alright, so yeah, just take note of the risk of doing it. But if you want to do hybridized, it's not, I think, too bad of an idea, right? And if you want to just make it into a Lead Surger Ace, that is probably the one I would recommend more often than not. Do not make a pure debuffer. Pure debuffer, I do not think is going to be sufficient to actually win, and I don't think a lot of people will be making the debuffer. They might not even know about the Keen Eye change, right? So I don't think that this one is something that is going to be very significant in this CM. I think just run your triple ace and you can just ignorantly just run it down, and you'll probably be able to win quite significantly. Alright, so yeah, this is it. This is Suzuka checked, Rice Shower, Hills checked, and Gold City Keen Eye somewhat checked. But if you have data also for me, feel free to comment down below. I'll try to take a look, or you can go to Discord and you can just type it down, and eventually the information will spread to MooMooCows. Don't worry about it. It's always like that one. People will just say, hey Moomoo, what about this, what about this, what about this, and then after that I'll just read it, and then the information will get to me. Okay, so this is basically it for the tier list over here. Everything is roughly the same. Don't need to move anyone too much, except maybe Seiyun Sky can be lowered a little bit because of the addition of this horse. But once again, not everyone's going to be building Suzukas. Right, not everyone's going to be using Suzukas. Okay, so let's see what else we need to go and talk about here. Right, notably for Suzukas, if you really want to make her win, right, you will need to pray for another Suzuka ace in the lobby, and then you need to fight her. If you fight a blocker, then you need to win that blocker in that fighting, right? And then you just need to survive and then get that first place. If you survive, right, against Suzuka blockers, you can make Suzuka win, but you need to fight. If you do not fight with Suzuka for the front, you will not be able to win. The way to win with Suzuka is only to use Unrestrained, Angling and Scheming, Swinging Maestro, and then get a crap ton of stamina, and then try to max your speed as much as possible, right? This horse needs a lot of investment. It's definitely not for the people without very strong cards, okay? Take note that if you're not trying to win, you do not need any excel at all, okay? If you are only here to block people, you do not need anything over here. But if you want to make sure that you are successfully able to block another Suzuka, you can get early lead and you can go for the groundwork. The groundwork is not too hard this time. Why is the groundwork not too hard this time? It's because, if you did not know, right, Sayan Suzuka is actually one of the easier horses to make for a great front runner, because she just needs 3 skills for the groundwork, right? Early lead was buffed already. Early lead was buffed, so it activates at 0 seconds now. 0 seconds activation. After that, we also have runaway. Runaway counts as a green skill, so 0 second activation also. So 1 and 2. After that, we have concentration, activate 0 seconds also. So we have 3. So we have 3 skills for groundwork already by default, and you can get these 2 from events. Events, by the way. These events are just do this one over here to get the runaway skill, and do Manichin Okan year 3 to guaranteed get early lead. You can also get it from random fireballs also, so don't be worried about this one. But this one, you do need to clear it in order to get runaway, because there's almost no way to get runaway except by doing this secret event here. Alright, so that's how you can make a Suzuka blocker actually very easily. Alright, very, very easily to be done. Okay, so Suzuka definitely can be very efficiently made as a blocker, and even if she's the only blocker and you don't have groundwork, she's able to actually still block the front runners pretty well also, right? Maybe she gets blocked and unlucky, but otherwise she's able to block a lot of the time. I think like 80% plus. Very, very efficient blocker, right? And you don't even need the groundwork sometimes. Just get early lead and you are mostly good enough already, right? Time constraint is a very real thing, so if you really cannot get groundwork, alright, please don't have to rush yourself too much. You can still use early lead only and you'll still be okay enough. Just remember, if you're blocking, don't need to get XLs, okay? If you're blocking, don't need to get XL. If you're acing, then you need to get XL. Alright, if you're making this a winning horse, angling unrestrained, you must try and get that. If she hits unrestrained, by the way, she probably wins the whole game. 0.4 XL at the perfect proc, GG, you win already. Right, so yeah, that's unrestrained. Okay, after that, the lane movement, if you can get it, awesome. If you can't get it, no worries. Alright, the time constraint is very real. Not everyone's going to be able to get this, so don't worry so much about it. Front runner also very real, right? If you cannot get this, don't worry about it. And also, you can just do all of this again for your various horses. S-Maru is still going to be a pain in the ass to make, notably, right? You still have to go and get every single skill manually, right? Early lead, groundwork, concentration, go and hunt them down yourself. Alright, the horse does not have anything inside of her. That's why Suzuka blocker is so much better, right? Because everything's inside her already. That's why I like her a lot. Right, yeah. Other than that, we got Pace Chasers, your straight descent. I put RNG on it, but it is still an 80% or 70% chance to activate something very good. Right, so I think this is still worth it to Gamba. Head to head is way more Gamba, it's more like 6 search, but you know, if you ever hit head to head, it's going to feel really good. Nimble Navigator is about a 10 to 15% chance. Okay, so now we come to Nimble Navigator and Uma Stand. I promised to talk about this a little bit. Uma Stand on Mile and Nimble Navigator on Mile is not particularly very good because the track design is not very ideal for them. However, at their worst, they are still just a white skill, and this one at worst is just a Gamba skill that didn't hit. Right, the Nimble Navigator has maybe about a 10%-ish chance to trigger. So what I recommend to people is that they can just get the white skill if they're willing to gamble just that tiny little bit, because this skill, right, at the white skill version is like a Majuro Ryan unique but cheaper. That's how strong this thing is. Right, so if you didn't hit number 6, it's the same as not hitting Nimble Navigator, but Nimble Navigator is cheaper. So as a gambler at heart, I do like to always buy Nimble Navigator on any of my backliners, because a 10% chance is better than a 0% chance, and all I need to do is just hit it one time in finals and I just win the whole finals. So as a gambler, I always like to get this, but if you do not want to get it because of Seriru's advice, because of VF's advice, no problem. Right, I understand why you don't want to get it. You want to be more efficient. Other than that, Uma Stand also is going to be a very, very nice skill. Not for Mile though, because in Mile it's going to be at like just a white skill, honestly. It's just a white skill, right? But notably, right, I'm also a very, very lazy person. So what I do is I still buy it anyway. So if I see it, I'll buy it. Why? Because there's a chance that that horse gets the Nimble Navigator head-to-head straight descent and Uma Stand Spark. And then I can use that as a Pace Chaser skill monkey and pass it down to my children. Alright, so this is why I always just buy it anyway, because you know, you never know when your random ace run can become a parent run. Right, so I just keep buying it, and these skills, right, at a certain point in time in the future, you will just put it on every single one of your backliners. Every single backliner will just have this skill, no joke. So I might as well just start working on it now, you know. So that's why I highly recommend to go and get it anyway. It has good value outside of the CM, and it has good value inside. Okay, not good value, but maybe okay value inside of the CM, right? So that's why I still recommend buying this, right? We also have a lot of mid-leg skills here as per usual, and then of course Taiki Shuttle's unique is only usable on Taiki Shuttle. So please do not inherit Taiki Shuttle onto your Page Chaser. I've changed her to only be a late surger unique, as you can see here. Yeah? Only late surger unique, because late surger can hit number 3 and number 4. They changed the activation for shooting for victory from 2 and 5 to 3 and 4, so it's much harder to activate, right? So yeah, that's pretty much it for Pace Chasers. For late stagers, exactly the same as they were before. Just buy gambling skills, hit it, and then you can try to win, right? As long as you hit, you win. That's how it works with any of these late surgers, right? You can power diff all of your enemies. If anyone brings guts builds and they didn't max their speed or their power, and you have more power than them, GG, you win the game, because you can just power diff them, right? Power is still very, very relevant. All right, Seriru is correct, Urzi is correct, and I hope I am correct, where we say that speed and power is still more important than guts. Please do not go for the guts builds unless you have ridiculously insane guts cards and you are somehow able to still get a very good amount of power with that build. Alright, otherwise, please don't bother with it so much. Alright, you need to get high speed and you need to get really good power also, because everyone who goes for the power will have significantly better excel than you. So that's going to be very, very painful. Alright. So next we have the end closers. End closers, we have Pump, Nimble, Updrafter, Straightaway Spurt, the usual. Straightaway Spurt not very strong here. Encroaching Shadow is slightly better because it's 0.4 XL. So it's still something. If they hit number 6, they can still win the game, no problem. Alright, so yeah. That's pretty much it for all of the skill changes over here. Nothing much change for the backliners, but Pace Chaser got major change, and Runaway was added just to compensate for that Suzuka, right? Then possible strategies over here, honestly, is mostly the same, right? Just make sure you have a backup option for your frontrunner players, right? If you have a backup option, you can still win even though there is a Suzuka in the lobby. You can still use like Taiki Shuttle. If you make a very strong one, she'll be able to win. If you put a Gambler Ace, also can able to win, right? Taiki plus 2 backliners if you don't want to play the front runner game, don't want to make a blocker, or you want to pray for another blocker in the lobby. And then Runaway blocker plus Taiki plus Blackliner Ace is also a very, very viable option over here. And notably, Suzuka is much easier to make than any other runaway, any other front runner, right? Because she has everything inside of her already, right? Then 3 Gambler backliners also to improve odds of hitting number 6, no problem. 1 front runner plus Taiki Shuttle plus Blackliner Ace, also very, very solid option, right? If you want to have a very good amount of win chance here. So if there's maybe no runaways and you have another front runner in the lobby, this can win. Otherwise, Taiki Shuttle will mostly be the winner. After that, Vodka can be the emergency winner, right? So this is all the different team comps over here. Single circles, we will not mention them. And of course, if you're burnt out and you want to focus on Team Chow horses, because Team Chow score is getting inflated by quite a lot. I hit 520k already, right? So if I can hit 520k and you know Unk is very, very lazy, right? Then you should know that all of the sweats should be getting 530ks, 540ks. Some people even get 600ks, alright? So be aware of the inflation of the Team Chow score, alright? Do try to do some Team Chows in between if you have the time. If you want to skip this CM just to do that, no problem also. I will understand why you're doing that. Okay, so that's pretty much it for this one over here, right? Guys, thanks for watching. If you have any other detailed min-max that you need to do, please join the Discord. The Discord has a lot of min-maxers who can help you out. You can Ko-fi me. I'm very busy, so have to go through a paywall, sorry. Other than that, Twitch and YouTube live streams, I will try to tell you what to do if you are there. Otherwise, sorry, I'm very, very busy a lot of the time. Okay, lastly, thanks for all the support. Thanks for all the Canva helpers, and thanks for all the data analysts who are helping me out with making all of these giant spreadsheets over here for people to go and copy and paste. Alright, so hopefully this has helped you guys out. Good luck with your CM, good luck with your training. Take note of all of those things that I said about soft locking and whatnot, okay? Those are very, very important to understand also, so that you don't accidentally waste one rental on a horse that's just going to soft lock you halfway. Okay, very, very valuable rentals, okay? So that's pretty much it, guys. Thanks for watching. I shall see you guys next time. Bye-bye.